Hi, you're watching a video from umpcportal.com where we're going to show you today the Amtek U560, which is a new UMPC that should be available in February 2008. This sample is provided in retail packaging from Mobilix, mobilx.hu in Hungary, so thanks to them for sending it over. Take a look at their website because they're going to have pricing up, final pricing up, in about the second week of January 2008. And from what I've heard, the pricing is going to be pretty competitive, so this could be one to keep a close eye on. So as I unopen the box, then I'll tell you a little bit about it. Amtek have already produced two UMPCs, the T700 and the T770, which have been branded and seen around in various models. But this one is a slight departure, whereas the others were VIA based. This one is based on an Intel Steely processor A110 at 800 megahertz, and it has 1 GB RAM and running Windows XP as well. This one has the GMA 950 chipset for graphics, so that's quite a good quality option on the graphics side. As I take it out the bag, you'll see what it looks like. You might have seen this in videos before. It's basically a slider form factor device, very similar to the Sony UX in style. It's actually slightly bigger than the Sony UX. It's got a slightly bigger screen, but the way the screen slides up from in between the sides of the keyboard there is very similar to the Sony UX. The other device you could compare it to is the OQO, although the OQO is in fact about that big, so this is a lot wider, and it's also fairly thick as well. And if you were watching CES last week in Las Vegas, you'll recognize this form factor. It's very popular now with some of the mobile internet devices that have been designed to be based on Intel's Menlo platform in 2008. So quickly go through the rest of the box contents here, and then I'll show you around the device. The box is actually quite nice, well packaged. Got a battery here, which is a 30 watt hour battery. It's slightly bigger than I expected in terms of capacity, but not bigger than I expected in terms of size. It's really quite reasonable. So it's a 30 watt hour battery, and with the Intel Steely platform, that should return an average of about 3 hours Wi-Fi on usage. And I do believe there's a double capacity battery available as well. So that's the battery. And then also in the packaging underneath there is, and I'll move this out of the way, a bag, a quick start manual, a headphones, not a headset, cleaning cloth, and the power supply, which is 19 volts with 110 to 240 volt input, so it's a world power supply. That's a standard 19 volt power supply. But I'll give you a quick look at the case here before we move on to the device. The case is not neoprene, but a very hard foam. You might be able to see, I can put some indentations in it. It's a kind of a foam case. Looks quite good. Grey piping. Should do quite well to protect the device. And it just slots in like that. So not bad in terms of size, but certainly not pocketable anyway. So I'm going to snap the battery into the back of this and take you round the device. Let's move that out of the way, and we'll zoom in, give you a good look at the device itself. That's better. So you'll notice on the front of the device at the top is the 1.3 megapixel camera. And it's actually a rotating camera, goes through 180 degrees. It doesn't feel too strong, I have to admit. On the top right of the device is a Synaptics touch pointer, a nice sensitive touch pointer with tap to click. Got a whole series of lights here ranging from hard drive through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and battery. This is a speaker on the right hand side here, and the same on the left hand side. The speakers are fairly loud but not as high quality as you find on the Q1U or the Q1P. This is a multi-way directional pad with an enter click button in the middle, and then you've got left and right mouse buttons on the top left. If you go to the top of the device, I'll just flip that over, what you've got here is CF card slot, and that could be really useful for digital photographers. You could also put potentially an HSDPA card in there if you can find one. There are a couple available with CF form factor, but quite difficult to get a hold of. 19 volt DC input. Then we move around again. You've got some good quality buttons here. This is the on off and hold, so push down to hold and that locks everything up and that takes it out of standby. Separate Bluetooth off and wireless LAN off, which is quite useful, and covered with a little bit of rubber here is 2 USB ports. On the underside of the device you'll find a docking port. There's the docking port there, and I'm not sure, I haven't tested it yet, but these could be the 2 array microphone inputs. It would be nice if it's array mics, because that will be useful for Skype. There's a fan input here as well. On the left hand side you've just got the headphone output. On the back of the device there's not much to see apart from the battery release button here and an integrated stand, which is quite a useful addition, but it is quite a plasticky device and not as strong as some of the stands I've seen. Okay, so let's flip the, well actually let's switch it on while I flip the keyboard up. Now the keyboard itself is a split keyboard with function keys in the middle. I don't mean F1 to F11, I mean feature keys like switching to external monitor, Windows Explorer, screen resize. There's email start button, SAS button, and AP button. I'm not sure what the AP button is. And the keys themselves are actually quite nice. If I can just put it like that, you'll see they're not raised a lot, but they do actually click down into the device themselves. And if I maybe hold this to my microphone, you can hear that click. So let's just have a look at that keyboard again. The keys are very easy to get to and they have a nice feel to them, and I'm finding myself typing fairly fast on this compared to, for example, the Y-Brain, which has a split keyboard. That's this one here, just got the split keyboard. This is much easier to get used to. It's up there with the OQO in terms of typing speed, I would say. The only problem is a lot of the keys have second and third functions, so getting to punctuation marks is much slower than on the OQO. The OQO has a much better system for that. The screen is a 1024 by 600, very high resolution, so anyone with problems with their eyesight might find that a bit of a problem. It will go down to 800 by 600 interpolated mode, which is quite clear. It's very bright, and it should be okay for most. So certainly for internet browsing, you can zoom with Internet Explorer X7, so that's going to bring the font size up, no problem. So keep an eye out for more on this on UMPC Portal. I'm going to do some performance testing on it and do some size comparisons, another video maybe after this. But for the time being, as we're running up against the 10-minute YouTube limit, that's the Amtek U560 supplied by mobilex.hu, so thanks to them for sending it over.